Alright, what's up guys, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to AimsNation. As you can see, I got a new vlog today, and I don't know, like always, I'm always trying something new. Anyway, that's enough about me right now, because we're not talking about me right now. So today what I'm doing is, today I would love to celebrate a big achievement I just got here on YouTube. Um, I just hit my first 10,000 views. Literally, for a couple years, I've been doing YouTube, and I never actually thought that I'd even get this far. Honestly, I just did it just because um, I wanted to, put my thoughts and ideas out there. Teach some good positivity out there for other people to pick up. And honestly, I didn't think, many people would care to hear what I have to say. And I just want to say to those of you who do listen to me and, actually pay attention to what I do have to say, I love you guys very much. And thank you, thank you, thank you. Um, and honestly, hitting 10,000 views on YouTube is a very big milestone for me. And um, honestly, that just means that's basically 10,000 uh, possible people out there who have heard what I have to say and honestly probably picked up something. Now, I do say a lot of stupid things that aren't probably very educational, and I wouldn't say I'm a good educator at all. I'm just a person who likes to try and be a good example to others, even though sometimes I might not be the best. So what I'm doing today, a special video, is today I'm going to be talking to a friend of mine. So if you guys recall, this past couple months, or a couple months ago, starting in April, I was not here in my hometown. I had left and went down to KC, and I was there for what, 4 or 5 months. I was there for quite a while, and while I was there, I made such a beautiful friends. I made such a beautiful memories there. And so what I'm doing today is I'm going to be talking to one of my friends from down there, and I'm going to be asking her a couple questions. I want to say it's an interview, but slash not an interview. It's basically us talking about life experiences. You know what I'm saying? I just want to see. I just want to interact with people out there and just get to know how they feel and kind of put their life experiences into my perspective, because something I know is that sometimes we people tend to think that either our feelings are up here and we think we're doing so good, or we're down here and we think we're doing so bad. And so the thing is that it's hard to gauge and understand how okay your life is until you kind of look around you and understand what's happening around you. So that's exactly what I'm going to be doing today. I did have her on this channel before. I did talk to her before. I would link the video down below, but it's hard to find it, but I will try my best. Anyway, so I will allow herself to introduce herself. I will have her on speaker on phone, and hopefully you guys can understand everything we talk about. Other than that, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. I'll try to keep it short and simple because I do have to go to work in just a little bit. So I decided to do this right now. So other than that, guys, I love you all very much. Let's get into it.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, what's going on?
Hey, not much, not much. So I just decided to pick up those few questions I told you about. So what I'm going to do is basically we're just going to be talking. I will ask you, I want to say 10 questions because I don't want to make it too long.
Okay.
Um, I mean, so right now, I would like to know, simple, basic things like who you are and where you from and like how's life right now.
Okay. So you need to know my name, or did you already put that out there?
Um, your name, you could say your name. I didn't say anything about it yet. I just wanted you to be
Okay.
the one to actually introduce yourself.
Okay. So my name is Cindy Pfeiffer, um, and I live in Southwest Kansas, Garden City area. So close to the Colorado line, about hour or so from Colorado. And right now I'm just kind of not doing much, not working yet, but hopefully at some point I can do some kind of job, whether it's a paid position or just a volunteer position. So that's just kind of where I'm at right now.
Oh, okay, that's nice. That's nice. So if you could pick up any kind of job, what what kind of job would you want to get? Like, what is something that stands out to you the most?
Well, now that I have this visual impairment, I have noticed there's a lot of areas where there aren't resources for
Right.
people like me. So I would like to be some sort of liaison or some sort of resource for people to find transportation or um, uh, just resources to help them find either educational opportunities or employment opportunities if this is a new situation for them like it was for me in 2019, because
Right.
I went from being fully sighted and working full time to not being fully sighted and not having a job anymore and not being able to drive and having to learn things, how to do things a totally different way. So, and in my area, there's just not a lot of resources for people my age. There are resources for kids, like school age kids, and then
Right.
resources for elderly people, which I'm close to that, but not quite. So I'm just kind of in that limbo, kind of that no man's land in between. So had to get uh, just kind of get help on my own, which was kind of hard. So I'd kind of like to be someone who helps out with that. Um, yeah, so that's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah, I mean, that's a really tough situation to be in. You know, going for as long as you did, and then all of a sudden you have this big change in your life, and then,
Mm-hmm.
of course, just because why not? Life decides, hey, we have help for everybody except for this certain
Mm-hmm.
age or position.
Right.
So
And I did find an agency that does help people, but they did say, but we don't really help with transportation. So it was just kind of interesting. They can help with people to come and clean your house and do other things, but they did mention that the one thing they don't help with is transportation, which is kind of the one thing that a lot of people really need out
yeah,
here because there's not a lot of public transportation here. So not a lot
yeah.
of Ubers or anything like that. So
Well, and I
there's a
mean,
there's a little there's a little bus that we can take, but it doesn't run on weekends and that sort of thing. So
well, yeah, and I mean, if we're being for real, it's like people don't think about that because, uh, when in a situation like this, when you're getting a job, you're trying to make money and not lose money, and
right.
when you start booking rides and things like that just to get to work, it literally just cuts your check in half. Like
Mhm.
what's the point of going to work if you're losing more money than you're gaining?
Right. Mhm.
Yeah, so that I think that's kind of dumb on their part. But
Yeah,
um,
a little counterproductive. Yes, definitely.
yeah, it definitely sucks because I've seen situations where it's like you definitely want to make a difference, and be the one person to to make it better for everybody, basically, who are dealing with that situation. But and sometimes it's like, so yeah, I understand that that's the action I want to take, but how
Mhm.
do I start? Where do I start? It's
Mhm.
it becomes kind of a closed window.
Mhm.
Yeah. So so today I would like to get into the first little questions that I had prepared for you, and
Mhm.
I'm going to say just as I did last time.
Mhm.
If you hear any questions you want to think about or you don't want to talk about, you don't have to. We could go ahead and move on to the next one. And
Okay. Mhm.
yeah, so let's have fun. Um, so the first question is, what is something that embarrasses you the most, or something that, well, like what is something that embarrasses you or have embarrassed you the most in your life? Would you say?
Well, when I first eating, trying to eat was hard because it was hard for me to see the things on my plate.
Right.
And a lot of it was just getting used to how things looked because things looked so different. And so I didn't like to eat in front of people I didn't know very well.
Yeah.
So that was new. And then even now, like, oh, I go to a book club once a month, which sounds kind of funny, but it's I can do audibles for that. So, and I walked out of the house the other night, and the way the shadows were on the driveway, I was walking around a shadow when I really didn't need to because it wasn't really an obstacle.
Right.
So the ladies I was with, they're like, "Oh, where are you going, girl?" I said, "Well, oh, I don't know. I
Right.
was just walking around this shadow. I just didn't realize what I was just kind of thought I was walking around something solid, but it wasn't. It was just a shadow." So
Yeah, you're just not 100% about it.
right, and I just was kind of I don't know, and so that kind of I don't know if it embarrasses me or it just kind of I have to pay a lot closer attention to things than I used to, and so if I don't, then sometimes I'll do things that are kind of oh, I'll dip a chip into something that's not dip. Sometimes it's something else on the table, and it's because I'm not really focusing on what I'm doing. I'll be talking and just not paying attention. So it's probably food is probably a bigger probably most of the time that's where the embarrassment will come in. I'll spill things sometimes just because I still talk with my hands a lot, and so I'll knock a glass over because I'm not watching what I'm doing. So yeah,
Right.
that's just probably most of the time that's what it is a food situation.
Yeah, and I
What
would
about
say that maybe with the plate situation is probably because you're probably in, you know depending on where you're eating from, they don't really have color coordination. I think that's the word. Color
right?
coding,
Mhm.
basically
Right.
making whatever is on the plate more transparent, or what's the word I'm looking for?
Well, I it took me a long time to buy white plates to use
Yeah.
because that was a good way to start, just getting used to how food looked on my plate.
Right.
And then so I bought a couple of white plates to use, and now I can use my own dishes. I have some red dishes, and I have some other, and I can use those now because I'm more used to it, and so that works. But like at book club again the other last week, the hostess had clear plastic plates,
Right.
and that was really hard.
Oh
Like,
yeah, that's
I had no
definitely
idea
hard.
like what I was doing, and they always help me put things on the plate. Like if there's a buffet style arrangement of food, then I have to have people help me go through that because I can't tell what anything is on
Yeah,
the
because
buffet. So
I mean, because you're looking, and basically, pretty much all you can see is, well, a bunch of colors and a lot of mixture of everything, and you're like,
everything pretty much looks the same because colors to me are either dark or light, unless it's like the only colors I can really see anymore are yellows and blues. So if we
right,
have blue food, we're probably in trouble. I mean, it's like the colors of food are pretty
right,
much either light or dark. So,
yeah,
if we have, um, casseroles or anything like that, it just all looks like a blob of some sort. It's not. So, if we have different things from a buffet, like appetizer type things,
right,
or fruits are pretty easy to pick out and get, but I have to get pretty close to things to actually see what they are. So it's nice to have people help me get that kind of stuff to put on a plate. But I don't know. I mean, it's just kind of a weird. I just have it. It took a long time to just get used to it, and now that I'm used to it, things have gotten a little easier. But it's still kind of just a challenge, and you just have to kind of roll with it and kind of, you have to either laugh about it or cry about it. So most of the time it's just kind of, you know, it's
yeah,
easier to just, joke about it. And it's easier if I have my own little bowl of dip. So I'm not
yeah,
dipping out of the group's bowl because then it's too hard to reach across and try to find the bowl. So,
yeah. Because then in
it,
the end, you might end up making a mess, and
yeah,
now dinner is ruined.
that's true. So it's just easier. And at first it was hard to kind of, if there was a brownie or a piece of cake that I was trying to find on the plate to eat at these group things,
Right.
that was hard. So I would just not get very much stuff. I would just get two or three things, and so it's gotten easier. But yeah, it's just kind of live and learn. I mean, and salads are kind of hard because sometimes the lettuce is cut really big at restaurants, and so um, I know we went to Florida a couple of years ago, and I ordered a salad, and it had tuna, um, pieces of like some kind of mango maybe, and avocado, and all of those pieces were cut about the same size, and the
Right.
texture was all pretty similar. So that was kind of a nightmare because I didn't really like I forgot that I don't really like fresh tuna, so that was kind of gross. And then I never knew what I was getting with my fork, and I didn't order any more salads when we were in Florida because it was just not a good experience. So
Yeah.
um, yeah, you just kind of have to live and learn. So
Yeah. I
or
mean, that's
order
pretty
what's
much it.
familiar. Yeah.
And that's pretty much it. You just gotta go through, those little phases and just basically adapt to the situations you're put through, and not
Mhm.
basically try not to really mourn too much about it, but more like try to understand, what is happening and how can you use that situation to your advantage. Like,
Mhm.
because basically that's just, I guess, how life works. It's like it puts you in a situation where it's like, it's really tough, and going back and trying to see if things could go back to the way they were is sometimes not an option. So what you can
Mhm.
do is try to find the little things that make, that situation you're in a little bit okay.
Mhm.
Like you said,
Mhm.
try, sometimes joke about it, because
Mhm.
yeah, sure, sometimes accepting it might be hard, but nothing says that, you can't make light of the situation in that current
Mhm.
moment.
Right.
Yeah. So, who who would you say you look up to the most, and what qualities about them do you love the most?
Who do I look up to?
Yeah.
Um. Well, I have, um, so my husband has been really supportive and has like helped out a lot because when it first happened, he had to like do the majority of the cooking, and we had to go to a lot of appointments and he had to do a lot of paperwork, documents, and had to be
Right.
done and submitted to um, doctors and whatever. So that was a big responsibility for him and a big change because I was the one who did all the cooking before, and I did a lot of the oh kept the checkbook kind of and paid some bills. Did
Right.
that kind of thing, online bill paying and that sort of thing. So picked out Christmas gifts, for the kids and did that kind of shopping and did the grocery shopping and over my lunch hour. And so he's kind of had to pick up the slack there. So that's probably one person. And then I kind of found out like who my friends were because um, there are a few people who've really, stepped up and have been really supportive and make sure that they get me out and about and take me out and run errands and do social things. And I have one friend who's definitely my church person who makes sure I get to my church obligations and makes sure she lives out here close to me. I live out in the country, so that makes it even more difficult. So she's a neighbor
Right.
and she makes sure I get into my I do water aerobics twice a week, so she drives me into that on her way to work. And then there were people I thought would really still be part of my life, and then they've not been. So that was kind of an eye opener, sort of. So it's just kind of been a learning experience. And then my son, who's your age, which I talked to you about him, he also ended up with the same condition I have because it's a genetic condition.
Right.
So I've been trying to um, be supportive of him, and so I've kind of been watching him and how he's handling it, and so I've been proud of him, and he's still trying to do his farm work, and he's been able to drive still, and he's researched this. We take a supplement for this, and you're supposed to be on a certain diet when you take this supplement. So he's been pretty good about that.
Right.
So yeah, it's just kind of been. Um, I've had a pretty supportive family. My kids have been real supportive. I've met friends at Alpha Point in Kansas City, like you, and there have been others. Steve and Helen were two people that I've kind of been pretty important. I feel like I'll stay in touch with them, and so it was kind of just people along the way that have made a difference. That'll be
Right.
connections I'll want to keep. So yeah, I guess that would probably answer that question.
Right. Basically, how it worked was basically, some people disappear and other people come through. Basically, one door closes,
Right.
another door opens, and sometimes the door that closes is not
Mhm.
good enough, and the one that's later to open is way better.
Right.
It leads you to new
Mhm.
opportunities and experiences, and you just never know.
Right. Mhm.
Yeah, um, I mean, no pun intended or anything, but I feel like that situation is one of those times where it's called an eye opener. Basically,
Right. Right.
you get to
Mhm.
know everything you didn't know about these people who you so trusted.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's in a way it's kind of sad, but it's definitely I myself learned to accept changes in my life because um, before I noticed that I had trouble with accepting changes and uh, allowing things to come into my life for a moment and then just disappear the next because
Mhm.
once I get used to something, I feel like I just wanted to stay the same a little bit longer.
Mhm.
Yeah. Um. I guess I'm not sure how you're going to fit this into the topic, but what would you say is your love language?
Mm, well, let's see. um, I don't know. Sometimes it's acts of service. so,
Right.
um, so like I sometimes need to get out. I want to get out and go. So sometimes if we can do that, it's makes me feel better. Uh, so that's one for sure. Because I like uh, action like that. I want to do something. I want it to get it done. So, and I want it done when I want it done. So that's probably part of it.
Right.
Um, I'm trying to think of all those because I read that book way back. Mm, I don't know. That's probably right now. That's probably. I mean, and that one sounds kind of bad because it makes it sound like, you know, um, that I just want people to do things for me, but that's not really it.
Uh,
I don't want things done for me. That's not really what I'm saying.
you
Um,
just
I want
basically
things done like with like um to help me so that I can do it. So
yeah, you just basically want people to prepare the way, the path for you to
right,
make
to
those
kind of
things possible.
yeah, right, right,
Yeah.
so that I can do it for myself. But I need the yeah, help with it kind of, but I don't want it done for me. So
Yeah,
yeah.
and I mean I've seen and I've been around you, I would say, long enough to just understand that you're a very helpful person yourself, and um you like to, sometimes to try to take things in your own hands, and definitely you ask for help when it's, when you need it the
Mhm.
most.
Mhm.
And so I understand that, because I myself just enjoy, trying to accomplish things on my own, to the
Mhm.
fullest of my extent, and then only when I run into a situation where I'm like, okay, I don't know where to go from here.
Mhm.
That's when I started thinking about, asking for support.
Right.
Yeah, but that's definitely an understandable situation to be in. I mean, and again, it's like, if you could do it for yourself, you obviously would. So it's not like
Mhm.
you just simply
Mhm.
want people to constantly do things for you.
Right. Mhm. Because I kind of feel like what my life is now is just hurry up and wait. Like wait on a ride or wait for somebody to get me started on something or, so that's kind of my what I'm
Right.
doing now. Just yeah, waiting. So
Yeah. So, what would you say is your what would you say is your style of comfort, when you're feeling sad or upset or just feeling some kind of way?
um I don't know because I'm not real touchy feely. I mean, I'm not much of a hugger probably. So
Right.
probably I like to talk things out. Which probably drives people crazy. So that's probably more what I do, I suppose. Is
Yeah.
like get together, talk about it, maybe go have, a drink or some dinner or, um, I don't know, watch a movie, just kind of relax, do something, just, you know,
Yeah.
um, get out of whatever like slump I'm in. Like if I'm sitting around feeling sorry for myself, I need to get out of that situation, and just go
Yeah.
do something
Get out and do
and not
something.
sit around feeling sorry for myself. If that's what, does that make sense? Does that
Yeah.
answer the question or not?
It does, because I mean, sometimes some people are too deep into their own thoughts and emotions that they just feel like there's nothing that they can do but sit around and just
Mhm.
be in their feelings too much, and it's
Mhm.
like sometimes
Yeah.
they just never know how to handle that situation. They don't know uh,
Mhm.
what kind of comfort they require in order to change that situation a bit.
Right. So I suppose it just depends on what it is I'm upset about. Like if it's just I'm feeling down or whatever, I just need to decide, do I need to get outside and get into the sunlight, or do I need to, find something else to like occupy my time? Do I need to listen to a book? Do I need to listen to a podcast? Do I need to turn on the TV for just a little bit? Do I need to exercise? Do I need to? It's hard to find the right um, solution sometimes. If it's an issue with a person, like do I need to figure out what that is and talk to them, or am I missing someone? Like I have a brother that I talk to pretty frequently, and if I sometimes I just call him because we could just talk for a little bit and visit, and then that will kind of cheer me up because I don't live close to any of my family, so if I'm going to talk
Right.
to them, I have to call them. So
Yeah, I
yeah,
mean,
so
and
that's
it
about it.
and that makes sense because of course everybody is different in their own ways. Like some people are antisocial, and
Hmm.
socializing is sometimes not an option, and some people just don't like being really active in general.
Hmm.
So it's like, what else can they do that will kind of basically take them away from that reality for just a moment?
Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, that's something interesting to actually think about, because there's so
Hmm.
many possibilities to just, I guess, experiment with.
Hmm.
Um, so where do you hope to be in like 5 or 10 years from now?
Well, I hope to be in better shape because I have a lot of aches and pains, like for my age, that I think I'm too young to have. So I'm trying to
Right,
get in better physical shape, like so my back doesn't hurt, my hips don't hurt, um, so that I'm not sitting around just getting old and walking all stooped over, and
right.
so that I'm hoping that to like eat better and eat more vegetables and less red meat, and so yeah, that's what I'm hoping because I want to be active with my grandkids, and um, so that's my goal, but it's not an easy goal.
Yeah,
So.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's, and I mean, this is, I don't know if this is stereotypical or just a random thing that people do, but I feel like maybe exercising and just training your body a little bit to be more active might help
Mhm.
push aside, some of those pains and uh,
Mhm.
little feelings that keep you from doing the things you enjoy doing.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep. So
Um.
that's it. I just want to be more active with my grandkids. My daughter should be having her baby any day, so that'll be my second one, and I want to be the active, like on the floor playing with them, and not just, oh, grandma can't do that. I don't want to be that. I want to be, yeah, let's go play, let's. So yeah.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I feel like, um, at that age, and that when you have not just kids but grandkids, I feel like that's the biggest moment a
Mhm.
parent is been waiting for, to just be able
Mhm.
to sit down with their grandkids and have fun with them and cook them food and just have a great time with them. And sometimes, I mean, you just don't have enough time um, you can't really gauge what kind of time you have with them
Mhm.
because sometimes they grow up too fast and then they have things to do and
Mhm.
and then I mean it's like when you the older you get, the less things you're able to do, and now the list is just getting shorter, and it's like you have to do something about it like today and just have it all
Mhm.
done. So
Right.
so here's a question I actually would love to hear because I never got to talk to you about this before. When have you felt the most um, proud proud of yourself?
Mm. Well, I don't know. I mean, I think I was pretty proud of myself when I started cooking meals again, which it took a while to do that. And then, um, mm,
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know. I mean, I've gotten just more independent in general. I go into town. I actually went to the grocery store by myself. Oh, it's been a couple months ago. Well, actually, it was in October.
right.
Um, so the YMCA is where I go do my water aerobics, and so